Kyler Murray throws a pair of interceptions on consecutive throws, and the Arizona Cardinals fall eventually to Seattle 30-18. Is that the season for Jonathan Gannon's Redbirds? We talk about it next on PHNX Cardinals. Hello and welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals post-game show, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. It's the playmaker, Brittan Golden, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver, Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire. Behind the mic, we've got Brack at State Farm Stadium. The Arizona Cardinals fall again to Seattle, 30-18, as Kyler Murray and this offense continues to melt down. We're going to talk about it and more. Do the Cardinals need to consider major changes following their third consecutive loss? But before we get to that, I want to remind everybody this show brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you signed up. Find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with Bet365. This game, unfortunately, wasn't ordinary. It was damn near unwatchable at times, Brittan Golden. The Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately, a week built up about how they were quote-unquote pissed off, how they blew that game against the Vikings, how they were going to reclaim the top of the division. It was all at stake for the Cardinals today. This game wasn't stolen from them. It was taken from them. The Arizona Cardinals were out-physicaled, were outmanned. At no point after the opening drive did it feel like the Cardinals were in control of this game. And I think that's the toughest thing is your culture, which we've really kind of praised ad nauseum from Jonathan Gannon, was kind of exposed today.
No, it was, and agreed. The Seahawks, outside of that first touchdown drive for the Cardinals, the Seahawks controlled this game from start to finish.
Yeah.
Offensively, their offensive line pushed our defensive line backwards. They ran the ball. I mean, Charbonnet had his first 100-yard game of his career today, and he just, I mean, they didn't miss a beat in the run game. I mean, Cardinals' offensive line was very poor. Cardinals' defensive line was very poor. They had no sacks today. There was a million holding calls on arguably your best offensive lineman. The interior offensive lineman is not working. You can't. I mean, Kyler did not play well today.
No.
It's everything we talked about, like
that
before the show was like that they had to do is like, this is what beats you. It's what beat you the first time.
Yep.
And it's what, like, you got your butt kicked today. It wasn't even nice. Like Seattle came in here and said, this is our turf and we're going to beat you at your own place.
Cardinals haven't beaten the Seahawks in 3+ seasons. They haven't beaten them at home, I think, since 2020. And again, it speaks to the notion that, you know, a lot of fans were waiting for a collapse from JG, from Kyler Murray. We certainly don't root for that, but it's hard to deny now. I mean, the Cardinals at 6-4 were in complete control of their destiny. They had the soft spot of their schedule. They had a favorable matchup coming up post-bye. Seattle, I mean, they've won 4 straight, 2 of those against the Cardinals, 1 of those against the Jets. Like, I think it comes down to, did the Cardinals overachieve at times this year? Yes. And now they're underachieving. And I can point squarely on this offense, whether you want to say it was the quarterback, that's correct. The offensive coordinator, certainly. Marvin Harrison Jr., absolutely. Paris Johnson Jr., I think you could check every box. And what's disappointing if you're a Cardinal fan is, or maybe it's a wake-up call, this is the offense for the foreseeable future. Like, outside of a complete collapse where the team maybe loses out, like they're not firing Drew Petzing. Kyler Murray's going to be back as the quarterback. Like, this is the infrastructure. And we watch it now, and you just get taken to the woodshed by Mike McDonald and this defense that, I mean, it's fine. It's a good defense. But, I mean, you play good defenses. You put up points against the Bears and the Jets, and you look more competent against the Vikings. You've got a problem right now where the Seattle Seahawks just own your ass.
Oh, and the Seahawks defense has played tremendously since the last 4 to 5 weeks. I mean, Leonard Williams has been a problem. and he was a problem again today. I mean, you didn't hear Leonard Williams' name as much today as you did the past games, but it doesn't mean that he didn't affect this game, because
Right.
he truly did. He did everything we talked about, what we wanted to see from Darius Robinson today, in just creating havoc in the backfield. Whether he gets the stats or not, Leonard Williams was in the backfield every single play, putting guards in Kyler's lap, and there's nothing you can't throw the ball, you can't run the ball when you got defensive linemen in the back, and the Cardinals have played well against teams that are, don't have a lot of their play. I mean, they beat the Rams handily, didn't have a lot of players. They beat the Jets. It's been a dumpster fire. They beat the Bears, didn't have. I mean, it's like you had a lot of you strung off some wins in a row, but you get every time it's been a team that's had a competent defense and playmakers on the other side, you've blown at least 3 of them, but outside of that, you lose, and you can't win. If you can't win games like this, you're not going to be able to. You can't go to the playoffs.
Well, you're not a playoff team right now. That's obvious. You lose 3 in a row, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. You lose to the Seahawks. Geno Smith was good today, wasn't great. Like you got the $50 million quarterback. You're playing at home. You're playing in front of mostly your home crowd. They made Charbonnet look like Jim Brown out there. They couldn't rush the quarterback at all. I mean, it's a complete organizational failure today, because I think we all thought coming into the season, well, you need to be more competitive in the division, but you're going to beat the Seahawks. Like the Seahawks, new coaching staff. That's what's so disheartening is you've had an 18 to 24 month head start on your rebuild. And I know Seattle was good last year with Pete Carroll. They have a new coach, new scheme, new structure. And, they had, 4 consecutive losses earlier this year. I labeled them a fraud, obviously incorrect. I'll wear the clown makeup now. But, like, the fact that you're sitting here now and you have looked uncompetitive against Seattle. Like, we fast forward, you've got 2 double-digit losses against Geno Smith in 3 weeks. That's who you are right now. Like, you want to talk about moral victories and you came this close to beating the Vikings? Awesome. But at the end of the day, like, even if you beat Minnesota, you lose this game, the Seahawks would still be in first place. Like, nothing would have changed there. So it's disheartening for Cardinal fans, Brittan, because really since the first time since you were playing for one Bruce Arians, like, this is when the Cardinals fold. This is when they fold their cards, no pun intended. They show us who they are, right? Come December and January, they cannot be counted on. And until they flip that script and that narrative, and I still think Jonathan Gannon is the guy to do that, everybody has the right to be skeptical. You have the right, this fan base has the right, and you can be skeptical of this quarterback. I mean, in 2020, they were 6-3, didn't make the playoffs. In 2021, they were 9-1, didn't win the division. This year, 6-4, you got a bye week, and you got a favorable schedule. I mean, outside of running the table, you're not making the playoffs this year. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Johnny, they weren't going to ever make the playoffs. No. We have new data and information. The playoffs were there for you to win. This division, for the first time since you were a Cardinal in 2015, was there for you to win. And you guys, you wet the bed, and you got to own that now. Like, you get to play the Panthers, hooray, and you get to play the Patriots.
But the Panthers isn't. I mean, the way the Panthers have played the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that's you play like this, the Panthers going to beat you by 15.
Correct. You're not. You play like this, you're not beating anybody. Kyler Murray's throwing 5 interceptions post-bye. You're not beating anybody like that. There's so many issues with this Cardinal team right now. We're going to get into it all. Let's get into the Sanderson Ford drive of the game, and it really was the clincher at the end. Arizona Cardinals driving and missed a field goal. 9 plays, 77 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of tackled into the end zone. Arizona Cardinals on that drive had 3rd and 2. Kyler Murray throws a pass to MHJ in the end zone. We think it's pass interference. They don't call it. And then Chad Ryland, who has turned into a big fat pumpkin here in the month of late November, December, misses a 40-yard field goal. And collectively, that's the ball game.
No, yeah. I mean, it's the pass interference. I mean, it's obviously it's up to the referee, but I mean, to have the guy be tackled right there, it is a 50-50 ball. It's thrown up. It was he had just threw up a prayer because he was going to get sacked if he didn't. But I mean, I did not like the choice to kick the field. I know that you're playing the numbers game, and you needed a field goal anyway, plus a touchdown. It's 4th and 2. Get the first down. I mean, at this point, you have nothing to lose right now. You're down by 9. Like, what were they, 9 points at the time? You're down 9. Like, go for 4th and 2. you got to have some type of aggression when we're doing this. We've seen this multiple weeks since the bye of where you got 4th and short and it's time, you got to make a decision. Do we go for it or do we kick this field goal? And we've been, at least the last 2 times, you've missed the field goal.
But, again, I don't know if I would have had confidence that they could run on short yardage. Paris Johnson Jr. was flagged. The Cardinals, they didn't really do anything well today.
Nothing.
Kyler Murray was bad in the first half, okay in the second half. Trey McBride, garbage time yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., a basic non-factor. Michael Wilson had the touchdown, but it just, when the defense is going to look like that today, which they were not good today, and Kyler Murray kind of gifted this opposing Seattle offense great field position that led to 2 touchdowns. When the defense doesn't have it, the offense is supposed to carry them. It was supposed to be an offensive team this year. And we're sitting here, and it's, mid-December. This team's 6-7, and they're 6-7 because of their offense. This offense this year, right now through 13 games, has been a catastrophic failure. It has been. Players have regressed. The Cardinals can't throw the ball. They were 24th in passing yardage this year. Think about that. With a team with Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray and Michael Wilson and an offensive line that grades well, are 24th throwing the football. In what fresh hell is that a reality for this team? You want to tout yourself, Drew Petzing, as a mastermind running the football. It doesn't matter when you're not putting touchdowns on the board. They've scored, 3 touchdowns in 3 games post-bye? 1 last week, none the week before, and 2 today. And today, it honestly felt like everything just looks so hard for them. And I get it. You're playing good defenses. Nobody's played a harder slate, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. All I care about is this team. We were sold a bill of good ofs. All the talent is on offense. The defense, which ESPN picked to be last in the NFL, has grossly overachieved. Even despite today, everybody said this defense was going to be terrible. And you know what? It's been pretty good. At times, it's been great. This offense, for the most part, has been a disaster class. And the problem is, we're going to be sitting here in January and February, and everybody's going to come back. And they're going to tell us they fixed everything. And Marvin and K1, the continuity's better, right? And Trey McBride, he definitely can score touchdowns. And James Conner has a new deal. I'm sorry. If you're at this route in December, and this is what it looks like, and Jonathan Gannon, poor JG, has to go out there and say, yeah, we just got to score more touchdowns. How do you do that? Show me. Don't tell me you're going to do it. Go out and do it.
Well, and I agree. Like you said, the offense was supposed to be the focal point. The drafting of Marvin Harrison, right? You've got James Conner back. You've got your franchise quarterback that you wanted, Kyler Murray. You paid him all the money.
Yep.
Right? You've got Michael Wilson, who's healthy. You've got all that. You did your offensive. Now, you did yourself a disservice not bringing in a few more, at least interior offensive linemen.
Yeah.
But this is, like you said, this is the offense you have. It's the offense that you're going to start next season with.
Yeah.
Right? So whether it works or not, this is what you've got as a fan. This is what you have to look forward to, whether you like it or not. $50 million tag is a lot. Nobody wants that. Nobody's going to be traded. The Cardinals can't cut Kyler Murray because it's too much dead money that they're just going to run. You're losing money at that point. So it's to this point that you have to understand this is the offense that you have. And if they can't make the plays and execute these plays, and don't get me wrong, some of these plays truly suck. And
they're bad.
When they're being called, sucks even worse. It's bad on both sides. But Kyler he hadn't got it done in games that he's supposed to get it done. If you're going to be a franchise quarterback, you've got to win big. 1, you got to win division games. Yep. 2, you got to win games that count in the NFC, like a Minnesota game. That's playoff implication.
Washington,
game last week.
Green Bay.
All of these. These are playoff implication, wins. It doesn't matter what time of the season it is. They're important. And right now, they literally lay an egg when it comes down to a team that they have to play well.
The antithesis of this, the Rams right now are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. The Rams, and I buried them twice on this show. You know, egg on me. The Rams are beating a team that most people feel like the tops of the AFC, and they're putting themselves in firm contention in the NFC West because that's what they do with Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan won big today, right? And now Mike McDonald is employing a resume of, hey, I also win late in the year. Hello, Cardinals. Wake the F up. Win games when it matters. We're sick of losing in December and January. You can't blame it on injuries or the elements or, officiating. You lost today. You've been big fat losers post-bye. Figure it out because ain't nobody want to be sold this come January that everything's just going to get fixed, that you got $100 million in cap space that you chose not to spend, all the draft picks. Name me one draft pick out of that robust class that made an impact today. Marvin, no. Darius, no. Max Melton's fine. Trey Benson's probably not getting enough carries, right? Tip Ryman's average to below average right now. Isaiah Adams doesn't play. It's like, oh my goodness, the draft class that's going to change our stars is doing what right now? And these other teams, they got rookies abound. So Cardinals need to figure it out right now. We're going to talk about it more. Plus, we're going to hear from Brack, who's going to chat with JG and Kyler Murray. That's right around the corner here on PHNX Cardinals. I'm frustrated. The only thing that's going to change my stars here, a little holiday shopping with our friends at Branded Bills. ASU, they're big winners right now. U of A, not so much, but you can rep either hat right now with our friends at Branded Bills. I can't wait to rep a Branded Bills ASU hat and say, I rep Kenny Dillingham, but I rep winners. And you can get it right now. It's a local company out of Mesa, Arizona. They do fitteds, beanies, tees. They've got a performance and style that's tailor-fitted for you. And again, love the local partnerships. Love, just the overall aesthetic. Check them out right now. Head to brandedbills.com. Use the bonus code PHNX for $20, 20% off your first order. Might be 20, might be more than that. Right now, snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees. Again, whatever you want, get it with Branded Bills. I always tell this story. I'm always out taking my kids to school, picking them up. Every other hat I see is a Branded Bills fitted hat. Love that they're locally based here in Mesa. Love that they're partnering with us here at PHNX Sports. And speaking of another partner I love, how about our friends at Circle K? Good hell, I'm going to need to stop off at Circle K, drown my sorrows in a 79-cent Polar Popper Froster because I'm a member of the Inner Circle right now. Sign up today for free. All you got to do, enter your email or phone number to be fully enrolled. After all that, you just get all the deals. The deals on deals right now. Save 25 cents per gallon your first 5 fill-ups. Save 3 cents per gallon every single day. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com, Damon, for more details. And, I don't want to be super negative on this show, although I will be as we continue on. I do want to highlight a positive. James Conner, our X Factor player of the game, Brittan Golden.
No, he's the only one, arguably, every time he's on the field has a chance to be your X Factor. He runs the ball well, even when his offensive line is not helping him out at any point. He creates missed tackles. He's good when you throw the ball to him out of the backfield. He makes people miss in the open field. But with what he did today, right? He had over 100 yards total offense today. With what he did today, you would think that this passing game would be able to open up a little bit more. And It just, as bad as we want it to, until this offensive line can figure it out. They looked fine pre-bye. Yeah. Right, we were running the ball. They were moving the ball. The offensive line was on defense's territory. We're just moving. Right now, nobody on this offensive line, including Paris Johnson, is bad. The guards are bad. Jonah Williams is bad. It's not good. Yeah, it's really not good at all. And there's no way that you can survive in the NFL when your quarterback's running for your life. Your running back's getting hit 3 yards deep in the backfield. All right, hats off to James Conner for what he's able to do right now. It's a tough deal.
And again, he's coming back on a 2-year deal. And the Cardinals' offensive line is a problem right now, but I don't think it's indicative of who they are. They were pretty solid last week against the Vikings. I think allowed 1 sack on the day. I think the Cardinals right now have a Seahawk problem, clearly. Paris Johnson Jr. is a tremendous left tackle and is just getting worked to all hell by the Seahawks. Mike McDonald, again, was the defensive coordinator for a Baltimore Ravens defense, was the best in the NFL last year. He leaves. The Ravens look like they wet the bed every weekend defensively. He's taken that and implemented that. And the concern that I have, and we talked about it on the pregame show, is this is probably the worst that Seattle's going to look defensively. They're going to have money. They're going to be able to add.
Be better.
Yeah, they're going to be way better. And the Cardinals, they got to match that intensity. They haven't yet. So, I expect the Cardinals' offensive line to play better against the Patriots and the Panthers, right? Some of the Rams defensively are not great. They just gave up 40-plus points. But if you're talking about how do we get to the hierarchy of the NFC West, you can't move the ball against the Seahawks. I know a lot of people said, well, Johnny, they had yards today. This league is about scoring touchdowns. You have to score.
Most of those yards are garbage time.
Right. You have to score touchdowns, guys. I don't want to talk about passer rating or yardage or whatever. The Cardinals have scored 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. You deserve to be 0-3. The defense was bad today, but like again, they're gonna get an infinite pass from me because the expectations always should be this offense is elite. This offense has elite players. Maybe it doesn't though. As we shift our attention to the franchise quarterback, Brittan Golden, Kyler Murray playing his worst football of the year at the worst possible time. I already saw a bite from our guy Bo Brack, who's going to join us in a little bit. Gannon pushing back on critics saying we're playing meaningful football in December because of Kyler Murray, which I 100% agree with. But this is where NFL legacies are made. This is where guys solidify themselves. We're staring down the barrel here of Kyler Murray playing how many seasons? 6 seasons since 2019. And he's going to have one playoff berth to show for it. Now, a lot of people didn't think the Cardinals were going to make the playoffs to begin it this year. It's almost worse now. I know it is. That they got our hopes up this year, that they were going to, quote unquote, cruise to the NFC West. And now they're at the point where can they even get a winning record at this point?
I mean, to win this division, you have to be able to score points.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can say what you want about the Rams defense and it's porous and it's not really great, but they're putting up 35, 40 points a game.
Yep.
Right? If you can, I don't care how good your defense plays, if you can't score points.
Yep.
You can't win. And Kyler has not been able to do that. Right? We saw it, especially since the bye, right? There's been times even before the bye where it wasn't great, but since they've come back from the bye, he's been bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been bad.
There's been instances like there was throws today, great throws. The touchdown throw to Michael Wilson was a dot. It was perfect, right? It's exactly where it needed to be, right? There was other throws in this game that were made that were good, but it's coming down to the end of the game comes and the plays are not being made to help you win a game. I mean, offense they look stale.
Yeah.
They look stagnant. There's no want to out there from anybody. No. And that's quarterback to offensive line to receivers. I mean, you got one guy that looks like two guys, honestly, look like they want to play out there. And Trey McBride and
Michael Wilson
and James Conner.
Yeah.
That's the three. Those are the only three that you really see, fight in their eyes. Like, even when it's down bad, they're down 14 points. And out of those three, when they're in the game, it's high motor. It's find a way to give me the ball. It's this. Everybody else just looks like they don't care.
You draft Tip Ryman because you want to be this physical team, and you can't stop getting out physical. And Kyler is a part of that. Like, it plays into the criticism of him, and I'm as big a supporter as any, where it's like the Cardinals look soft, and then the quarterback performs like this. Like, you have to get back to playing your style of football. I see a lot of this in the chat. Like, where is the dog in Marvin Harrison Jr.? Animal TV. Yeah. Let's talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. Another pedestrian game under 50 yards. Like, again, and that was only because he had a catch late in the game. Marvin Harrison Jr., like, I don't know if it's officially a problem, but it's weighing on the team. Like, the connection that we thought was going to fuel this team to respectability, you can make an argument, is the biggest reason why they're not going to make the playoffs. The lack of continuity and consistency in this passing game, which is led by Kyler Murray and number one receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., is the reason that they're going to be like 8-9, 9-8 at best, versus an 11-12 win team. I mean, the defense has held up its end of the bargain tenfold. Marvin Harrison Jr. is on pace this year for about 800 yards and 7, 8, 9 touchdowns. It's just not good enough. The team needed Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. to really kind of be the linchpin, to be the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. It looks like anything but. And listen, I'm one to admit, like, Drew Petzing, I do not think is good at his job right now. I think Drew Petzing, in a perfect world, runs downhill, 3 to 5 yards in a cloud of dust, especially on third down. You want to dink and dunk downfield. That's great. When things are working, it looks fantastic. Jets, Bears game. But when this team needs chunk plays, perfect example, Seattle before the half needed chunk plays. They got them on 2nd and 20. A possession before that, the Cardinals basically conceded a possession on 2nd and 19 with a draw play and then a check down to DeMercado. And then fast forward in the second half, they damn well did it again when they were backed up in their own end zone. There is no vertical passing game to speak of. And there's so much skepticism now that with the infrastructure that they have, because they're not getting rid of Kyler Murray, with Drew Petzing at the helm and Marvin Harrison Jr. is your number one, is that ever going to be a priority? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this offense has a ceiling, and the ceiling right now is about 17th to 18th in the NFL. And that's not good enough. You want to win this division? Go look at what Matt Stafford did today. Go look at what Geno Smith did today and in weeks prior.
Brock Purdy, same way.
Brock Purdy, same thing. It's not good enough. So if you're Jonathan Gannon, it doesn't matter. You go get Micah Parsons this offseason and trade for Max Crosby, and take a first-round defender. Your defense could be ass kickers. It is in some aspects. If this is your offense, man, you ain't going nowhere.
No, and even the three quarterbacks we just named in this division, right? It does start. Like, you got to see how they attack these other defenses. Like, look what Seattle did to us today. One, they ran the ball down the throat. And then two, they just found guys downfield. There wasn't, Geno did a great job of when he had to check down, he checked down. But he stood in the pocket. He stood there, he took hits, and he delivered great throws today, and they were downfield. They were 15, they were 20, they were 30 yards downfield, and they were strikes. And we're not seeing that. Matthew Stafford stands in the pocket. Matthew Stafford ain't moving.
No.
We know that, but he stands in the pocket and gets crushed. But he's throwing 40-yard passes to Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and company out there. He just takes the hit. You see the same. Brock Purdy today had a heck of a game too. It's ridiculous. We don't see that. Kyler is not that quarterback, okay? I will tell you this. He is not a guy that you can say, stay right here in the pocket and throw the football. When it happens, it gets batted down. It's just not the game that he's ever played and what he's been successful with. You see very minimal play-action rollouts from this offense, and it blows my mind. You've got a mobile quarterback who can use his legs and do things, and we're sitting in the pocket with him. Let him go. Let him roll out. If there's nothing there, get what you can get. I don't understand why there's not more plays in this offense for him to be outside of the pocket and move. He did not become the first overall pick from high school to college to the NFL by sitting in the pocket.
No.
He can't. Let's just be real. He's 5'8", 5'9". You're not seeing over 6'8" and 6'6", offensive and defensive linemen. It doesn't make sense to say, Kyler, you need to sit in the pocket and find a way to deliver this ball. No, roll him out. Get him out of it. Get the ball quickly. Like, if you want to check down, it's dumb.
It's a problem that we're sitting here saying that, though. Like, you got to roll him out.
Week 14.
It feels like
you get paid millions of dollars as an offensive coordinator, and you want to put your quarterback in the pocket that's not a pocket quarterback.
Again, the criticism is warranted now. You can't be in a position to win your division this many times and then just not put W's on the board in December and January. He's got to start winning these games. I'm wearing his jersey right now. There's no bigger fan of Kyler Murray than me. But you can't throw those interceptions in the first half. They lost by what? 9 points today? 10 points today? Whatever it was, 12 points.
Too. The attitude is a big thing, right? Demeanor. And he's really bad. Like, his body language when something goes wrong is atrocious. But what do you do? You want to see it. You want to see some type of conviction when you have a bad play. Yes, I want to see you beat something up, be disappointed in yourself, but you can't pout. You can't go to the sideline and pout the whole time. Everybody's going to do it. All professional athletes get upset with yourself. Yes, you look but you have to be aware of body language. People around you feed off of your body language. You are the quarterback of this football team, right? People feed off you. You have to be a leader. You have to find a way to be a leader, and he does not have the qualities right now to be a leader. Nobody looks to him when in times of need right now. When you're losing by 14 points, you're losing by 10 points, nobody looks to Kyler and says, all right, he's going to get us ready to go right now, because he's over there with his face in his hands.
Everybody be sure to like this video. The goal here on a post-game show is 1,000 likes. As always, big ups to everybody in the chat. I see the Seahawks people. Again, congratulations. You beat the Cardinals' ass 2 out of the last 3 weeks. But I'm never going to stop calling you a fraud. I don't think Geno Smith is any good. Geno Smith was fine today.
He looked like a top 2 quarterback in the last 3 weeks against us.
Yeah. Congratulations on your Super Bowl against this team.
He's got a good offense. The thing too, you're looking at. Look at the offensive coordinator for Seattle. Look at the position that he's putting Geno in. Geno is it's right. He can sit back there and he's confident. He knows this play can work because if he's not open, I can go here. I can go here. We don't have that. Kyler's not confident. One, he can't move. There's hands in his face every time. right? The offensive line has been atrocious the last 3-4 weeks. He's got happy feet. He doesn't know what to do. He's trying to get rid of the ball instead of sitting in there. Like, you don't see that from any other quarterback in this division. Every single one of them sits back there like, oh, my first read's not there. Where do I go next?
Okay, so I see the people getting after Kyler Murray. I'm like,
I'm a Kyler Murray fan.
Am I not
too,
sitting here?
It's not working.
Am I not sitting here and saying like
it's not working?
He had an egregious game. He's been awful since the bye. What am I saying up here, Damon, on the post-game show? Am I talking about like extending Kyler Murray? Like, I think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback, but like not putting up wins late in the year is indefensible. I'm sorry. People need their ears checked, I guess.
Oh, it doesn't matter. People are going to say it's Twitter.
I can't listen. I'm not going to come up here and say like he can't play. He's a bum. But I also feel like, at the end of the day, you have to be better. 100%. Those interceptions in the first half cost him the game. Like,
he's got to be better. But so does you got to have a competent, offensive coordinator at the same time.
Well, no, Steve's talking about the hypocrisy. He is a better leader than he has been. We have Michael Wilson comes on the show twice a month and loves Kyler Murray. Paris Johnson Jr. or Kyler Murray are like best friends, right? Like, but that's when times are good, things are rolling, right? Post-bye now. I mean, like, this is when we're going to need to see Kyler Murray really respond. And you can make an argument like this was his best test, and he failed it. Like, I have no problem saying that. I'm an adult, and look, I watch the game just like you guys do. Those interceptions on back-to-back throws, you can make an argument it's going to cost them the NFC West.
Nobody's going to attack I'm not attacking. Nobody attacks. I mean, some of y'all are attacking him personally. But, like, the criticism is...
I'm not going to sit here and say, like,
it's not a personal attack. Like,
no.
He's got to be better at his job right now. Hands down. He has to do that. Right? And nothing against him. He knows that. Or at least I hope he knows that. If he doesn't, then that's a real problem.
Listen, I love your guys' passion, and I want the best, as does everybody in this chat, for this team, I think. But at the end of the day, like, if the Cardinals continue to perform like this, it's going to be on Kyler Murray. 100%, like it was on him today. I'm confident in Jonathan Gannon long term. I hope Monti Ossenfort attacks the offseason better than he did last year. But when you're not scoring points and you're turning the ball over and your team is losing, guess what? You're the culprit. They're 0-3 post-bye in large part because of Kyler Murray. You can mix in Drew Petzing, 100%. But again, like, you can't run away from the fact that, like, 6 years, one playoff appearance. Kyler Murray would tell you that. I guarantee you we're going to have bites of Kyler Murray in this post-game presser here pretty soon. Kyler Murray's going to say, like, I blew this game. Like, I'm not going to come up here and, like, condemn his character or talk about how small he is or throw, slurs around. Like, that's not, if you're going to do that, this isn't the show for you. But I am going to say, like, after the opening drive, he was atrocious in the first half. He looked small in terms of how he played. And the offense, I think, is fundamentally broken in trying to get chunk yardage, right? This is an offense that almost has to play with a complementary elite defense where it's like, we're going to run the ball, we're going to dink and dunk, we don't want to turn the football over. And the minute the defense shows cracks in the foundation, it's like, oh no, what do? We have to get 20 yards and 3 downs, and they physically can't do it. It's like a deer in the headlights. So again, like I'm disappointed like everybody else. Let's check out Counting Cards this week. And outside of our guy, Michael Wilson, who continues to perform, by the way. Michael's been fantastic. Big touchdown, big explosives on the opening drive, which was no doubt scripted. Michael's been great. Kyler Murray, not good. And then defensively, 0 sacks here. But Michael Wilson, Brittan Golden probably warrants more targets.
I mean, I said it last week. I mean, he's one of those, like, guys, like I said earlier, like, he's got a high motor. He wants to win. When he lines up on the line of scrimmage to run a route, to block, he does it 100 miles an hour, right? He's out there to win every single play. You've got 3 guys on that offense that are out there to win every single play. The other 8 it feels like they're just out there. I said it last week, he deserves more targets. You go to the opening drive of the game, and you get a big play, touchdown pass to Michael Wilson, and then he had one other catch, I think, the whole rest of the game. That was another 16-yard reception. It doesn't make sense to me when the guy that's actually performing for you has got 2 targets, and then the 2 targets, he's got 2 catches for 57, 55, however many yards he had today. It just, my mind is blown just in the way plays are being called, how they're being called, who's being focused on, who's not being focused on. It looks like a 12-year-old playing Madden right now.
It
Hell,
does.
me playing Madden. I mean, I don't even play Madden, but it's just like it doesn't look like you've got somebody calling plays or at quarterback that's executing plays that wants to be out there. Like, it feels like some of these play calls, 2nd and 19, we're running a draw and we get 0 yards. And it's like you're just throwing things and saying, hey, this is what I want to do. You know, maybe this will work.
Amari DiMercato and Marvin Harrison Jr. had the same number of catches today and only had the difference of about 34 yards. Let me repeat that. The Cardinals' third down back, which they're addicted to throwing to, and I include Kyler Murray in that, and Marvin Harrison Jr., who was supposed to be Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, Jamar Chase, had the same amount of catches today. Another week, Marvin Harrison Jr. has half the catches from his targets. 4 catches on 8 targets. I mean, like, I just...
There's no fight. There's no fight for the ball from him. That's what...
He is a... I'm just say this right now. It's going to come off bad. Is he a finesse player right now? Is he a finesse player in the sense of, like, you know, he's just going to go and get the balls that are thrown? He is not a...
But it's not even like it's getting the balls that are thrown to him, because even when if there's a chance, this is just me watching and observing.
Right, give it, because
if there's
real
a
quick,
chance
Brittan
for
Golden
a ball
called
to
like
catch,
six of the penalties today before they even happened.
He just doesn't. There's no fight, right? We've said it multiple times. You just don't see a Dawg in Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. You don't see that. You don't see the Justin Jefferson, the Jamar Chase, the DK, the Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like,
right.
The Smith and Jigba from year 1 to year 2 has taken an immense leap.
Right.
And you see it week in and week out. When the ball's in the air, he goes to get it. Same thing with Jamar and Justin Jefferson. Like, they go find the football. Marvin Harrison is 6'4", 200 whatever pounds with big hands, and he doesn't attack the football. He wants it to come to him. That's where we see all the body catching and this and that. Like, you're gonna body catch passes. It's gonna happen. It happens. Everybody does it. But you can't think that's the thing that's going to happen. There's no fight. If there's any type of contested catch, I feel like it's a batted ball or an incompletion. Like, there's just he has no want to attack the football.
It's a problem, and we're going to hear from the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, right around the corner on this continued problem post-bye, because that dog you're talking about with MHJ, it's currently missing throughout this entire team. That's coming up here on PHNX Cardinals. The only thing that gives me some holiday cheer here, not the Cardinals, but our partners, specifically our friends at Sanderson Ford. Their 65-acre facility makes it the largest Ford dealership in the nation. And I need a big Ford F-150 to drive away and make me forget about this team for a hot minute. But right now, they've got deals. They're unbelievable. They're family-owned and operated through 3 generations. They thrive on no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense. They're the anti-Cardinals right now. Get the 2024 F-150 with 3.9% APR financing for 66 months. Plus, you're going to get $4,000 cash back. They've got similar savings on 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot. Again, JG right around the corner here. But they're also doing something that's worth commending. They're doing the Operation Santa to give back to the community. They've got over 500 employees, take tremendous care of this community here. Check out Sanderson Ford, their Glendale location. And you will not be sorry that you did. And speaking of checking out, you need a staycation. You need some take your mind off the Redbirds right now. How about checking out our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, specifically Wild Horse Pass? They've got 4,500 slots, live table games, and more. Check out their largest sportsbook casino here, the best here in the state of Arizona. We're going to be hosting watch parties the rest of this year. 2 weeks, we're going to be there for Carolina Panthers watch party. And then again, a week later for the Rams game. And then, of course, our Suns watch parties are off the hook. Hopefully the Suns can get it together here while the Cardinals remain in free fall. But Gila River Resorts is doing a tremendous game day VIP experience. Winners are going to enjoy 2 tickets right now to Niners at Cardinals in January 2025. You're going to get an on-field pregame experience, lunch at the Morgan Athletic Club, and a meet and greet with Big Red and the cheerleaders, plus VIP stadium parking and a 2-night stay at Gila River. Again, check it out right now. Playatgila.com/Cardinals. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, more information right around the corner. Big thanks to our partners. Big thanks to everybody in the chat. Drop a like on this video. Again, the goal, 1,000 likes. Let your frustrations be heard as the Arizona Cardinals choke away a prime opportunity to win the NFC West and their playoff hopes on life support. We got Jonathan Gannon, Damon, Dawg, and his post-game reactions. Here's the head ball coach.
Okay, I think Blake had an ankle in the first half there, and then Roy had an ankle, didn't return. Disappointing loss. Didn't play our best ball there. I got to find some answers to get us going a little bit because we haven't played great here the last couple weeks. So that falls on me. So got to go back to the drawing board tomorrow, get these things corrected, put them in better position, and we got to win a game. So I thought we spotted them a lot of points there, but then we battled back. I appreciate their effort. That was good. We battled back there, had a couple chances to even cut the lead a little more, but ultimately didn't get it done. So give them credit, and I got to do a better job. Well, I would always say the ball first. The takeaways hurt. But credit to K1 because I think that was back to back, and he battled and made some plays there, and we got back into the game. The run game, I thought we popped some runs, but not consistent enough third down. I didn't think we operated great on third down there, but you just got to play a little bit clean, score a couple more points. Defensively, the run game wasn't great. They popped the long one there. That put us down 24-10, that 50-yarder, that hurt. And then on third down, I thought they had some